All-Ireland SFC Qualifying Round 2, Cavan 1-14 down 0-15. Luckless Down bowed out of the championship despite being the better side in Saturday evening's Brewster Park thriller. It's all about the result in the qualifiers of course, and Cavan deserve credit for hanging in there and getting their noses in front at the line, but even their manager Mattie McGleenan admitted that his side stole it. It was impossible to argue with him because almost everything that might have gone wrong for the Mournmen did go wrong, although they didn't help themselves at times either. Already without the injured Donal O'Hare, the Mournmen lost the experienced core of their team in black-carded Conor Harrison and Cavan McGleenan before half-time, and then Callan Mooney injured and Ryan Johnston a red card in the second half. When Johnston was shown the line, with just over 20 minutes to go, Down led by 4 points, but disaster struck when goalkeeper Shane Harrison allowed Gearoid McKiernan's shot to squirm through his fingers and into the net. The Mourne netminder may have been blinded by the early evening sun, and his mistake ultimately cost Down the game. With their 4-point cushion reduced to 1, the Mournemen were always up against it in the Brewster Park heat. Cavan edged ahead, but even then there was a kick and Down. Darren O'Hagan had a chance to win it, or force extra time, but his pile driver was brilliantly saved by James Farrelly and Cavan held on. Tempers boiled over after the final whistle with a 1-all-in melee, which saw referee Cormac Riley, who got the bird from Cavan fans in the first half and Down supporters in the second, sent off Dara McVeety, Conor Moyna and Anthony Doherty. After the dust had settled, Cavan boss McGleenan said, "That was an Ulster Championship match. Down played serious football and we probably stole it. We didn't play anywhere near what we are capable of and we're just happy to still be in the hat." He added, "We couldn't break them down at all. Their mistake was beneficial for us and got us back into the game. We missed some serious scoring chances that left the game open at the end, and James Farrelly saved our lives. He made an absolutely amazing save and we needed something like that." Despite the loss, there was loud applause from the Down changing room after the game. Eamon Burnsmen had a list of ready-made excuses to throw the towel in, but they refused to do so. "I'm immensely proud of the performance and I don't know how we came out on the wrong side of that result," said a crestfallen Burns. "I thought we put in a performance that should have won us the game. I didn't get a good look at the black cards, but I don't think there was a lot in the red card for Ryan Johnston. It was telling at that point in the game. We were 4 points up and then they had the extra man. But we kept going right to the end." After 3 years as Down manager, Burns hasn't made up his mind on his future. "We'll let the dust settle and see where we are," he said. "I'll speak to Sean McAteer, the Down County Board Secretary. I'll speak to my family and my backroom team." The atmosphere around the ground before throw-in was akin to a National League fixture, but the game was quickly up to championship pace. Seanie Johnston's free had Cavan ahead inside the first minute before Mooney, the impressive Ronan Miller and O'Hagan combined to set up Conor Magin for an equalizer 30 seconds later. Down looked up for the fight, but by the time McKiernan out-jumped Niall Donnelly and Peter Turley in midfield and strode forward to score, Cavan led 0-6 to 0-2. Despite their aerial superiority, Cavan chose to drop off on Down's kickouts and the Mournemen were able to kick short and work the ball up the flanks. They used possession well and McKiernan's superb pass found Harrison, who broke wide, created a yard of space, and scored into Miller free and a cracker from McKiernan either side of Connor Bradley's score meant Cavan lead was reduced to 0-7 to 0-5 after 20 minutes. Frees from Anthony Doherty and Miller left it level, but Conor Harrison, for a trip, was followed off by McKiernan, who had a prolonged row with linesmen. Both were shown black cards. Down steadied the ship however, and, with their defense looking increasingly solid, Turley split the posts after an assist from Niall Medine, who had replaced Harrison. Cavan midfielder Sean McCormack equalised, but Medine and then Sean Dornan, stepping up in the absence of Harrison, both landed points, and Down, who had trailed by 4, went in leading by 2, 0-10 to 0-8, at the break. It seemed clear that the team who wanted it most would win the game, and Down continued to look the better side despite losing Mooney, who took a heavy hit at the end of the first half and was subbed early in the second. Niall Murray pulled a point back, but Johnston left and Flanagan on his backside to set up David McKibben, and his score maintained the 2-point gap. "Come on, Cavan, wake up," roared a Breffni fan from the stand. Down weren't listening, and Miller drove straight through the middle of the Cavan defense to claim a ball he had no right to win, surrounded by defenders. He kicked the free himself, and then Dornan lashed over his second point to leave Down 4 ahead and on the brink of victory. But the pendulum swung dramatically towards Cavan. First, Johnston was red-carded for an altercation with Niall Murray, and then Harrison dropped McKiernan's attempted point into his net, and suddenly there was only a point at it. Down wisely kept the ball and earned a free when Miller was brought down. Doherty took it and roared a curse at the pitch as he saw it drift wide, and then Murray and Kieran Brady points edged Cavan ahead. Miller, still full of running, leveled, but Oisin Kiernan and Padraig Faulkner opened up a 2-point gap as the game went into 5 minutes of extra time. Down battled on. Johnny Flynn got fingertips to a Cavan pass, and Medine forced a 45 that Doherty slotted over. The seconds ticked away, and Down gathered themselves for a last hurrah. O'Hagan charged down the left flank and broke through on goal. Could have fisted a point to force extra time, and Down would have been restored to 15 men, but he went for broke and smashed in a shot. Farrelly saved bravely, and, crucially, the ball stayed in play. Cavan broke upfield and McKiernan stroked over to seal the win. Down are gone and Cavan remain, and they know they'll need to produce better than this to last much longer this summer. Cavan, J. Farrelly, K. Brady, P. Faulkner, 0-1, E. Flanagan, C. Brady, 0-2, C. Moyna, M. Riley, S. McCormick, 0-1, B. Muggy, O. Kiernan, 0-1, G. McKiernan, 1-2, N. Murray, 0-2, C. Bradley, 0-1, D. McVitie, 0-1, S. Johnston, 0-3. Freeze, substitutes, F. Riley for K. Brady, H.T., C. Mackey for Muggy, C. O'Reilly for Johnston, 42, A. Cole for McCormick, 53, N. Clerkin for Bradley, 60, J. McLaughlin for Flanagan, 72, Yellow cards, K. Brady, 21, S. McCormick, 45, Red cards, Moyna and Johnston. After game ended, Down, S. Harrison, R. McGleenan, B. McCardle, A. Doherty, 0-3, 0-2. Freeze, O-1, 4-5, D. O'Hagan, and McParland, C. Mooney, P. Turley, 0-1, and Donnelly, R. Miller, 0-4, 0-3. Freeze, K. McKernan, 0-1, C. Magin, 0-1, S. Dornan, 0-2, C. Harrison, 0-1, R. Johnston. Substitutes, J. Flynn for Mooney, 38, C. Poland for Donnelly, 52, C. Francis for Turley, 67, Black cards, C. Harrison replaced by N. Medine, 0-1, 28, McKernan replaced by D. McKibben, 0-1, 29, Red cards, R. Johnston, 49, Doherty. After game ended, referee, C. Riley. Need attendance, 3,278.